The most common thing that people understand about the Army National Guard is that it's a part-time military. But if it's a part-time military, how is it supposed to function with soldiers only working 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks in the summer? The answer is said to be the best kept secret in the entire National Guard. Hi, I'm Cody, and I talk about the Army National Guard. Today I'm going to be covering what's commonly referred to as the biggest secret ever kept in the Army National Guard. And no, it's not aliens or weird corruption or Bigfoot or anything like that. I'm talking about the Guard Reserve Program, or acronym to death like everything else in the military, AGR. Most National Guard units have 3 full-time staff positions. Today I'm going to be naming them and telling you a little bit about their duties. Before I get into it, hit the like button, and if you like this type of content about the National Guard, subscribe. Now, the AGR program is pretty self-explanatory. Broken down, it starts off with active, A. That means that they're an active dude. And then next comes through with G, guard. Guard, they're a member of the National Guard. So now we got active guard. And then the R stands for reserve, which is reserve. It's not confusing at all, but I didn't name it, and that's okay. So just know that your AGR staff is going to be who is keeping operations running throughout the month. There are other full-time National Guard positions outside of the 3 I'm going to be talking about today, but these are the bare bones that a unit needs to function. First of all, being the Readiness NCO. This is your big dog in charge of the unit. It's usually an E7 position, that's a Sergeant First Class, and everything flows through them. The Readiness NCO handles the bulk of the workload for the unit. He's responsible for the upkeep of the unit, upkeep of the armory, and ensuring physical security is kept up, and managing career records for all the soldiers in the unit. The Readiness NCO is usually in charge of handling pay and is in charge of the subordinate other AGR soldiers that are working there day to day. If you need to update your bank account information, have any sort of pay issues, update your address, need to check that you're in the correct job position on the unit manning roster or UMR, or you need to request excusal off from drill or to split train at another time, it all runs up through your Readiness NCO. Just make sure you're using your proper chain of command before it gets to your Readiness NCO. Most Readiness NCOs don't want to be contacted directly from the soldier, and the reason is you have a chain of command in your unit. It should be going through your team leader, squad leader, platoon sergeant, so on and so forth. Because if you're just calling directly to your Readiness NCO, then everyone in the middle of the chain of command is left out. And that's no good for leaders or yourself, and it just causes confusion. The second position that's working in line here as an AGR soldier is going to be your training NCO. Now, the name training NCO sounds specific, and it could be confusing, so I'm going to break all the confusion up. The training NCO is not responsible for training each soldier or training anybody, really. The training NCO is responsible for helping the commander plan training and inputting the training data once it's complete. The training NCO is responsible for inputting the training schedules, making sure training records are up to date, making sure that soldiers are getting to be enrolled in their proper institutional training that they're supposed to be for their own career management. So the training NCO is working in ATARs, getting people enrolled, and then producing orders and coordinating travel for soldiers. This is usually an E5 or an E6 position, depending on how the unit is set up. They work directly with the commander to develop training plans and input training schedules. And the planning phase is happening 30, 60, 90 days out, all the way up to 2 years in advance. Once the training is complete, the training NCO is responsible for inputting any sort of rosters, certifications for the soldiers that have completed training, and making sure the DTMS system is up to date. Throughout a soldier's career, they will need to go to a multitude of different classes for professional development and to get certified on things that are going to be additional duties for the unit. Soldiers will have to work directly with their training NCOs to get enrolled in these classes, get orders produced, and to get their travel coordinated. It's the individual soldier's responsibility to make sure that they are within good standing and eligible to go to these schools, and it's the training NCO's job to facilitate all the documentation and processes to get the soldier to those schools. I mentioned travel. Training NCOs have access to the defense travel system. The training NCO is going to work with the soldier to see if they have a government travel card, make sure if they are going to be flying to training or if they're going to be driving to training, depending on where the training occurs, And then once the training is over, the soldier is going to have to sign a DTS voucher to be reimbursed for any travel expenses. The training NCO is the person that sets up that travel and then closes out that travel. Once the travel voucher is closed and the duty is done, the training NCO works with the readiness NCO to make sure that your order is paid out. The third and final most common AGR position here is going to be the supply NCO. This is usually an E5 or an E6 sergeant or staff sergeant position, and they handle, you guessed it, supplies. When new soldiers get to the unit, they work directly with the supply NCO for any gear requests that they need, and sometimes some uniform stuff as well. The supply NCO handles a myriad of things for the unit to include individual soldier gear, vehicle information, faults and repairs, equipment, and manages fuel requests. The supply NCO inputs the rations for the unit and works with the training NCO and the commander to ensure that the supplies that are needed for training are scheduled well in advance so that the needs of the unit are met for when that training occurs. Supply NCOs handle logistics, requesting everything from porta potties that need to be at a training area for soldiers all the way to the ammunition that needs to be requested for range days. So that's what you need to know about the best kept secret in the Army National Guard. Readiness NCO, training NCO, supply NCO. So tell me this, how is your unit different? Does your readiness NCO handle different tasks? Or if you're active duty and you're watching this, thanks. How does it work differently in active duty? Put it in the comments. Some honorable mentions that I didn't include here because they're not the most common are the admin NCO, which would be the fourth most common position, most likely. The admin NCO at a unit handles solely personnel documentation in IPSA and IPERMS and a few other systems of record. It's very nice when you have an admin NCO because they can focus in and specialize on just that thing. And in my experience, a unit with an extra additional admin NCO functions a little bit better, and the soldiers' records are kept up a little bit better. When a unit does not have a dedicated admin NCO, that role then goes, or responsibility, then goes to the readiness NCO role. So admin NCOs are very important to have. I also didn't include any officer AGR positions. That's more of a niche role that I have not been privy to because I'm an enlisted dude. But I've worked with officers. They're good for nothing. I'm just kidding. So I've worked with officers, but I mean, they're there for managing the ongoings of AGR staffs and providing guidance and deadlines. So is AGR the best kept secret in the Army National Guard? Not really. Everybody knows about it. But it is a great career opportunity, and if you're in the Army National Guard, it's something to pursue. Hi, thanks for checking out the channel. I really hope you liked this video. I hope it was informative. My aim is to build this channel for people who are thinking about joining the Army National Guard, or parents who are thinking about joining the Army National Guard, or parents in general. I've been in the National Guard for 17 years. I enjoy studying leadership, and I want to see the National Guard excel. If that's interesting to you, please check out one of these other videos. Like and subscribe to the channel because that's going to help me out. Thank you.